This is April O'Neil, Channel 6 News, speaking with this year's winner of the Fat Cabbies contest, Myron Bimpleton. Tell us, what is the secret of your success?
Movie stars at last! Okay, boys, here are your costumes.
Precisely what sort of character am I supposed to be?
Why, you're all evil alien robots chasing after the girl. All right, everybody, roll camera and action.
Help! The evil alien robots are after me!
I, Skeletor, have another warrior named Whiplash!
What the bloody blue blazes is going on? It was great! It was wonderful! Emmy material! A Pulitzer Prize! There was laughing gas and fighting and guns and explosions! I got it all on tape! I gotta get this to my network! Fantastic! What a scoop!
Hey, all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here. Once again, I'm joined by Salome, and it's a Wednesday edition of TNINews, and we've got a lot to cover today. So let's jump into it, and let's start off with some news on the McFarlane toy front. So first of all, just updating on a story I talked about on Friday in regards to that Sinestro Corp Batman figure that is being released as a Target store exclusive. It became available for pre-order yesterday, and as I'm filming this, it is still currently available on the Target website. So if you want to add that one to your collection, you can pre-order it now, or you can wait and see if it shows up at your local store. And then this weekend, we got some reveals of a couple of new gold label DC Multiverse figures from the Dark Knight Trilogy. So we had seen listings for these figures about a month or so ago, but they started showing up overseas again this weekend. So the first one is the Bane figure. These images come via Lincoln DT on social media. And this is essentially a reissue of the Build-A-Figure. It's being released as essentially a mega fig. But the big difference here is the figure features the soft goods jacket like he wore in the movie. So again, this is a gold label figure. Now, we have not gotten any word yet on where here in the United States this figure will be released at. Being it's a gold label figure, it will be some type of store exclusive. But again, no word from McFarlane on when or where this figure will be available. Now, the other two figures that showed up this weekend, also gold label figures, we actually got official teases earlier this week, even though they didn't actually tell us where these figures would be offered at, again, here in the United States. But the second figure that we saw this weekend was the bank robber version of Joker. So from the beginning of the movie where he's robbing the bank, this one has two head sculpts, a regular Joker head, and then the bank robber clown mask head. So that one, again, is a gold label, and they've officially announced it, but didn't tell us where it was going to be available. And then same for the third one, which is kind of a weird one, Sonar Vision Joker. So kind of a weird painted, I don't think it's translucent, but a pretty weird painted version of the Joker. So again, no word on exactly where that figure is going to be offered. I have a feeling that all three of these figures will end up being offered at the same retailer, whatever retailer that ends up carrying these. I figure it's going to be the same. They might break them up among multiple retailers. I don't know. Possibly even these could be just offered straight up on the McFarlane store. But again, those details have not become available. And when they do, of course, I'll be sure to let you guys know. We also, earlier this week, got 3 new 66 Batman 6-inch figures that went up for pre-order on Target's website. So these are all ones that we had seen. The Batgirl, which is based on her appearance in the comics, not the actual TV show. I guess to cut through the red tape with the actress's likeness, from her estate. So Batgirl, and then variants of Batman, Batman and Robin with little scuba oxygen masks on. So all 3 of these are currently available at Target for pre-order. These may eventually be offered elsewhere, as we've seen with some of the other 66 Batman products from McFarlane. but right now Target is the only place offering these, and again, these are available for pre-order, and at some point I'm sure they will show up at physical stores as well. And then just today we got an official press release from McFarlane Toys announcing that they've entered into a licensing agreement with Blizzard Entertainment, so they will be doing more video game based figures. So the two that they mentioned in the press release were for Diablo and World of Warcraft. So specifically the new Diablo 4 game, and then Warcraft Arclight Rumble. So I'm not really familiar. I've never actually played the Diablo games, and so I don't really follow those games. But again, they've announced that they have entered that license agreement with Blizzard Entertainment. So really anything from Blizzard, any games that Blizzard has done, McFarlane probably could end up doing figures of, but specifically in the press release, they talked about Diablo and World of Warcraft. So no other real details at this time, no products were shown or anything like that. But of course, when that happens, you can expect that I will be sure to bring that information to you guys. Okay, and then the final thing I have for you guys on the McFarlane toy front today is another list of products that will be coming out. These have not been officially confirmed by McFarlane Toys, but they have shown up on overseas retailers, and 9 times out of 10 these end up being correct. So we will treat them as rumor until McFarlane, of course, officially confirms them. But here's a showing of the list of new Spawn figures that are listed, a new wave of Spawn figures with characters Reaper and Disruptor, and then also some more 2-packs, which I believe, yes, they are the 3-inch 2-packs, so the DC like Page Puncher type thing, and then a new Cygor figure, a gold label version of Cygor, so I don't know how that will differ from the previous one that we got. But yeah, more Spawn. And then for DC Multiverse, so I mentioned this I think in Friday's video, but probably the strangest listing on the DC Multiverse front is what is listed as Bat Santa. So I'm thinking this is going to be some type of holiday version of Batman dressed up as Santa Claus. I don't know if it's based on anything actually in the comics or not, but there's going to be a red variant and a blue variant, and both are going to be gold label, which means both will be store exclusives of some kind. We're getting some more Injustice 2 figures, Superman and Brainiac. So there'll be those video game based figures. We've got the character Omega Unmasked and Batman from That's All Bloody, which will be gold label. I'm not sure what store that will be offered at. Another Batman Hush Blue and Gray. So I don't know if that's going to be like a reissue. That was a pretty popular figure, so that might just be a reissue. Batman from Dark Knights of Steel. I'm not really sure. I haven't read that story, so not really familiar. And then Jim Gordon dressed as Batman from Batman Endgame. So not a regular Jim Gordon figure, but Gordon dressed as Batman. And then finally for DC Direct, their DC Direct subline, we've got some more Batman the Animated Series stuff. So they've listed the Bat Cycle, which I don't know if this is just going to be a reissue of the one that DC Collectibles did several years ago, which was a great vehicle. I have it on display over here. You can't see it, but it's a great vehicle. But I don't know if this will be something new or just a reissue. And then there's also a new 4-pack that's listed. And again, I don't know if these will be new figures or just reissues from DC Collectibles or what, but Batman, Robin, Scarecrow, and Mr. Freeze. So we'll have to see what those are. But my feeling is these are probably going to be reissues from the DC Collectibles line. Again, if you missed out on that Bat Cycle from DC Collectibles, it is a great vehicle. It's got lights on it and things like that. So I would highly recommend you check that out if that's what it ends up being. If it's something completely new, created by McFarlane themselves, then it'll be interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to see if it's better than the DC collectible one or not. Okay, now let's jump over to Hasbro and Marvel Legends. I'm not going to spend a lot on Marvel Legends today, since I dedicated an entire video yesterday to talking about the new wave, the Marvels wave that went up for pre-order today. So as I'm filming this, they are available at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon. So if you want to add those to your collection, you can do so now. Also, just a reminder, I talked about this last Friday, but tomorrow, which is Thursday, June 8th, that Avengers 60th anniversary Black Widow figure that Hasbro showed off in their last live stream several months ago, That is supposed to be going up for pre-order tomorrow at Target. It is a Target store exclusive, so we don't know exactly when it's going to be available. Target just seems to put things up when they want to. The last few Target exclusives seem to have gone up around 2 o'clock p.m., but, if this is something you really want, I don't think it's really going to sell out super fast. It might, like the Ant-Man that they offered recently, that sold out for a while, but then went back in stock or what. So, I don't know, but you might start checking around 1 p.m., but again, it may not be up exactly at 1 p.m., Dan Young was the one that said it was going up this week on Thursday, but he didn't give a time, probably because he knows Target's just going to put it up whenever they decide to put it up. But anyway, just be on the lookout for that tomorrow. And of course, when it does go up, we will post about it on Marvelous News. So you can keep an eye on that site if you don't want to have to keep constantly refreshing the Target website and searching around for it. But again, Black Widow for you Marvel Legend fans should be going up for pre-order tomorrow. Okay, now let's delve into a little bit of Transformer news. So we've got a new Masterpiece figure coming from Takara. This is Masterpiece number 58. It is of Hoist, which shouldn't really be shocking, being they've already given us Trailbreaker. And of course, Trailbreaker and Hoist share the same type of body and everything. So Hoist is coming to the line. It is available for pre-order now at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store. The cost of it is $160. He transforms from the tow truck to a robot, and he comes with a number of accessories, things from the cartoon, like the alien mask from the clip I showed you at the beginning of the video, some other things, some tools and such as well. So if you have some of the other, what I call kind of like second generation G1 Transformers, Trax, Inferno, Grapple, all of those have already been released in the MP line. Hoist will be a pretty good fit with those guys. So those all came out about the same time during the original line. But again, Hoist is available for pre-order now at our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store. Entertainment Earth does not yet have it up for pre-order. They probably will at some point, but as I'm filming this, they have not yet put it up. The release date for this one is listed as January of next year. Now let's jump over to GIJoe and Classified. So just to give you a quick update, again, I'm not going to go into a lot of details since I did a whole video on this on Monday, but the GIJoe Haslab was announced on Monday. It was the Dragonfly, as I speculated it was going to be last week. It was in fact the Dragonfly. It's $274.99. It got fully funded. Its minimum funding goal of 10,000 backers. It achieved that in just over 24 hours. So we're now working on the first stretch goal, which it needs to get to 13,000 backers. The first stretch goal, which they announced to be a classified figure of Ripcord, a Night Force version of Ripcord, all in black, which they basically did the same thing in the 3 3/4 inch line for with their Sky Striker. So that's where they kind of got the idea. That probably means we will get a regular Ripcord at some point in the line with his normal green camo outfit, but right now we've just got the all black version. And then of course Wild Bill is the figure included, automatically included with the Dragonfly. And I know I've seen a lot of people asking, are we going to get Wild Bill in the line outside of this Haslab? Hasbro has not said. It's possible. The one they're doing for the Haslab is in his original toy colors, whereas in the cartoon he had different colors, blue and yellow and stuff. So it's possible we could get a regular release classified version of that Wild Bill, or they might just end up at someday doing a straight up re-release. I don't know. But right now, if you definitely want to make sure you get your hands on Wild Bill, then you're probably going to want to back this. It is pretty cool. Price again is only $274.99. I don't want to say only, because that's still a fair amount of change to drop on one item, but it is cheaper than last year's Haslab. It's cheaper than the Marvel Legends one, the Ghost Rider one, which I know a lot of people are throwing that in Hasbro's the Marvel brand team's face. Showing how successful this GIJoe Haslab has been so far. But right now, as I'm filming this, we are at 11,448 backers. And again, to get to the first stretch goal, it needs to get to 13,000 backers. We might get there tomorrow. Originally on Monday when I did the video about the Haslab, I was thinking we would get to all the stretch goals by the end of the week. It has slowed down since that first day, so probably not going to get to all the stretch goals this week, unless like when they reveal the second one, and they're not going to reveal the second one until they get to the first one. So we won't see what the second one is until we get to the 13,000. And if that was like super duper cool, then maybe that would cause it to start to speed back up. I don't know. I'm hoping one of the three, there's 3 stretch goals. The second stretch goal will come at 16,000. The third stretch goal will come at 19,000. I'm hoping that one of the 3 will end up being Airborne, which I always associated with is like the co-pilot for the Dragonfly. So it was a figure sold separately, but I always had him in my Dragonfly helicopter with Wild Bill. So I'm hoping that's one of the 3 stretch goals. But again, right now we're at 11,448. I suspect we'll get to 13,000 by this week. I was thinking maybe tomorrow, but it might even be like Friday. I don't know, but definitely it's been moving very good. And again, it has been fully funded. So the Dragonfly is definitely coming along with Wild Bill, and we'll just have to see how the stretch goals do. But I feel pretty confident that we will get to all 3 stretch goals, and the campaign ends on July 17th. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about in regards to GIJoe Classified. So we've got 3 pre-order drop dates coming this month for mainline GIJoe Classified, meaning it's not like a one store specific pre-order. There could be more with store exclusives, I don't know, but mainline, based on Entertainment Earth's drop page, we've got 3 different GIJoe pre-orders happening this week. Now, not this week, but this month. So I don't know exactly what is coming on each of those days. So the 3 days that you may want to mark on your calendar are June 14th, June 21st, and June 28th. I talked about this on Friday. Now, I've been doing some checking, and it looks like only 2 separate figures are going up for pre-order on the 14th, the first pre-order date of this month. So I don't know what those are, but I am thinking it is, and I kind of hope I'm wrong, but I feel like maybe Hasbro's going to break up the next wave of 5 figures into multiple pre-orders. So I'm thinking it may just be 2 of the figures from the next wave. Now, there's been some rumors floating around of what the next wave is, which I think might actually be somewhat incorrect. All the figures that were announced, we know are coming because Hasbro's already told us that the figures are coming. It's just in what waves and such are they coming is what's up in the air. But I'm thinking, because these are the 5 figures that they've showed renders for already, I'm thinking the next wave is going to be that second version of Firefly, the low light figure, and Tunnel Rat, followed by the 2 more recent reveals that they made of the Crimson Viper and the Grunt figure. So I'm thinking those 5 figures are probably going to make up the next wave, just because, again, the only thing I'm basing that on is those are renders. Those 5 figures are renders that they've already shown us. Other figures that have been kind of rumored in the next 2 waves include like General Hawk, which again we know is coming. Dreadnought Ripper we know is coming. Agent Helix we know is coming. Dreadnought Buzzer we know is coming. A Snow Serpent, which again we know is coming because Hasbro's given us those names, but we have not seen any kind of digital renders for those figures yet. So I feel like those might be in the wave afterwards, which probably will not be going up for pre-order this month. I'm thinking only 1 wave is going to be going up for pre-order. If we get anything else besides the next wave of 5 figures that go up for pre-order, I'm thinking it might be that Steel Core's 2-pack. To kind of go along with the Grunt figure that comes with the Steel Core helmet. So I could see that also going up for pre-order this month as well on one of those days. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, the first pre-order date is going to be June 14th. Okay, now let's talk some Jada Toys and Street Fighter. So, well, before we get to Street Fighter, I just catching up a little bit on news while I was taking time off. Some new figures had gone up for pre-order. So first of all, that Street Fighter Chun-Li figure that was supposed to be the 3rd figure in the first wave, that went up for pre-order. So it's available at places like our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth. I believe it's been up, maybe up and down on Amazon. But that figure went up for pre-order last month. And then also another figure from Jada that went up for pre-order here fairly recently was that Chester Cheetah figure. We had seen some previews for that one. One of their mascot figures. They did the cereal mascots. Now we've got the potato chips with Chester Cheetah. Cheetos are kind of a potato chip, right? Not really potato, but you get what I mean. So that figure is available for pre-order again at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. And then this week, we got our first San Diego Comic-Con reveal from Jada Toys. It is a Street Fighter figure. It is a variant, which is not surprising. It is Evil Ryu, so you get multiple heads. You get the sign, regular sign piece and a broken sign piece. You get his power effect pieces. So that is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. They have not said exactly how it's going to be made available, meaning is it only going to be available to those who attend the convention, or will it also be made available online, which nowadays most companies do make their exclusives available online as well as at the convention. Some people like Hasbro just do pre-orders at the convention and then ship everything out later. But so no details on that. But again, as being released as at least one of their San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. They should have others, but Evil Ryu for their 112 Street Fighter line. Now, the first two figures in that Street Fighter line, the Ryu and the Fei Long, have started to see release. I know Target stores have been getting them in, even though I've not been able to find them at my Target, so I've not yet gotten my hands on them. I believe online retailers should be getting them in stock any time now. So those first two Street Fighter figures from Jada Toys should be, if you haven't already gotten your hands on them, you should be getting them soon. Okay, now let's get into Mattel and Masters of the Universe. So first of all, going up for pre-order this week on the Mattel Creations website, being released as a Mattel Creations exclusive. I actually meant to talk about this last Friday, but I forgot. But it's a new Eternia version of Vykron. So I'm really not familiar with this character, other than I know he got first introduced in the Classics line. So there's three variations you can do with this guy with all the accessories that he comes with. One is, again, I really don't know anything about this guy, but he's got the Barbarian look, which is a variation of He-Man, basically. You've got the Spaceman look, which seems to be like a variation of Zodak, and he's got some wings on his back and stuff. And then you've got the Eagle tank helmet version, which to me, out of the three, is probably the coolest. Looks like it's using some parts from Man-at-Arms, but the head with the tank guns and stuff on it's pretty cool. So again, I really don't know anything about this character as far as his actual background, other than I know he got released in the Classics line originally, but he's now coming to the Masterverse line. This figure costs $35, and it went up for pre-order yesterday on the Mattel Creations website, but I checked it earlier today and it was still available there. So if you want to add it to your collection, you should be able to do so at this point. And then the other thing on Masters of the Universe I wanted to mention here, we talked about this last week in my live stream, but I wanted to bring it up here in just a regular news video. So going up for pre-order last week was the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Whiplash figure. It's a deluxe figure. It had been revealed, a couple months ago when Mattel dropped all those product images and stuff. And most of that stuff had gone up for pre-order around that time, but the Whiplash had not. And I've talked about this before. The reason why the Whiplash did not go up for pre-order with all the other stuff was because Target had the exclusive first on it. They had the option where they could have offered it before anybody else. That time period has come and gone, and Target, for whatever reason, decided not to put it up for pre-order or make it available. I don't know if they have the option of putting it in stock, and maybe they were waiting for it to come in stock and it didn't come in stock. I don't know. But Target did not take advantage of that, so we've now started to see it pop up at other places like Big Bad Toy Store. It's not a Target exclusive. It never was a Target exclusive. It was just Target had first dibs on it. Now, I know, Target not offering it has caused a lot of speculation, people continuing to say that Masters of the Universe is coming to an end, all that. All I will say is I don't think that's the case. I do think you are definitely seeing not only Mattel, but many companies that focus on more of the adult action figure collectibles, not stuff that kids are going to buy. I don't think kids are really buying Masters of the Universe. So I do think you're seeing more and more toy companies kind of move that stuff away from the mass retailer that carry that stuff usually in very limited numbers. I mean, GIJoe Classified is a perfect example of this. While technically, you do see it sometimes at retailers, and some people see it more than others, depending on where you live in the country. But, GIJoe Classified has never had a huge on-shelf presence at the big box retailers. It's been readily available online, including at places like Target and Walmart and stuff. But on shelves at physical stores, it really has not had a huge presence. So, my Target still carries Masters of the Universe. They got the latest wave with the Sorceress and stuff, so they haven't like completely dropped Masters of the Universe, but I definitely feel like they might be moving away from carrying a lot of that stuff that's not really going to appeal to kids, just the adult action figure collector. So, my view, that's a good thing. Doesn't mean the line's ending. 10 years ago, if a big box retailer didn't carry a large company's product in full force, that probably would be the death knell of it. But things have changed since those days. So, again, GIJoe Classified is a perfect example of that. So, I don't think Masters of the Universe is going away, but I would not be surprised if some of the big box retailers are kind of like moving away from it, at least at their physical store. So again, Whiplash is now available at Big Bad Toy Store. Right now, Big Bad Toy Store is the only online retailer I've seen put it up. Like Entertainment Earth has not yet listed it. I don't know why. But, it's not anyone's store exclusive. It will be available pretty much anywhere that carries Masters of the Universe Masterverse. And right now, Big Bad Toy Store is listing it with a third quarter of this year release date. So no specific release date, but essentially later this year. So it may end up showing up at Target at some point. I don't know. And Amazon will probably end up carrying it at some point. But again, right now, Big Bad Toy Store does have it available for pre-order. It is a deluxe figure, and the Big Bad Toy Store price is $32.99. Tamashii Nations has shown off another one of their SH Figuarts Naruto figures. It is a Obito figure, which will be going up for pre-order this week. The release date for this one is November of this year. You're going to get a couple of different head sculpts with this one. Knowing nothing about this property or this character, I'm not sure of the significance of the accessories, but it looks like he's going to get an alternate head to another one of their figures, which you see Tamashii do that a lot these days. So again, this one should be going up for pre-order. It will be available at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, sometime this week. And again, the release date for this one is currently listed as November of this year. Okay, now let's jump into Playmates Toys, which I will use that to segue into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is where I will end things today. But before we get into all the turtle stuff, and I've got turtle news on both the Playmates Toys and NECA front, but before we get into Turtles, I just wanted to talk briefly about Star Trek. So, of course, Playmates has been doing some Star Trek figures. They did a wave of figures last year, about 5 inches or so, which you can still find on shelves. They've kind of been warming the pegs. They did a re-release of their original Enterprise from the original series. They did like a phaser, things like that. So they haven't really been doing a whole lot with Star Trek. Like I said, one wave last year. The second wave, which is based on the new Nickelodeon Prodigy animated series, which if you have not checked out, if you're a Star Trek fan, you've not checked out, while it's technically geared for kids, I've actually found it to be pretty good, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan. So if you haven't checked it out, it's on Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon, so you might want to check it out. But they did a wave of figures of the main characters, and those have started to hit shelves. There was supposed to be a hologram Janeway that retailers had put up for pre-order. Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth had it up for pre-order. And you probably, if you pre-ordered it from those places, probably got an email letting you know that figure had been canceled by the manufacturer. So Playmates Toys is not officially saying the figure's canceled. They're just essentially saying it's on hold. Yeah, you almost will never hear a toy company say something is 100% canceled. We'll never see it again. But right now, it is not looking terribly good for that figure getting released. Same thing. They're supposed to be. They were supposed to do a vehicle of the Protostar, which is the starship from Prodigy, and like a phaser as well. From what I understand, those have not really been moving forward. So, whether we see those down the road or not, I don't know. But it really does not look like Playmates is putting a lot of effort into Star Trek these days. I don't know if the sales were just really bad on the first wave of stuff, which honestly, I can't say I would be surprised, being that, they did the first season of Discovery, which was like the worst looks for those characters, and they only did 2 characters. They did like Wrath of Khan figures, which, you know, are cool, but then they did the original series Enterprise, not the Wrath of Khan Enterprise, so that didn't make any sense. They did a couple of Next Generation figures, but like nothing from the modern Picard series or anything like that. So, you know, it really didn't seem to give us much in that first wave that was terrible. You know, if you had collected the original Playmate stuff, you probably had all those versions of the figures and stuff, and so, I don't know. I was not terribly impressed with their initial offering. I was hoping we would see more, which we never really did. Now, I will tell you that I know they had a few new figures on display at the some of the fall toy fairs this earlier this year, but being that they've made no mention of those or anything like that since, you know, toy fair is to try and sell stuff to retailers. So if they didn't get any real retail interest in those figures, you know, they may have just canned those. So right now, I would, you know, again, nothing has been officially canceled, and, you know, things could come out at a later date. But right now, from what I can tell, looking on the outside in, it is not looking like Playmates is putting much effort into Star Trek at the moment. But where Playmates does seem to be putting their efforts right now is into new Mutant Mayhem turtle products. So I talked about some of this on Friday. Since then, Playmates has come out and officially said that the official shelf date for their Mutant Mayhem products for the new movie will be June 25th. Now, stores often just disregard the embargoes and stuff, so you very well could see them start to hit shelves earlier as they start to get stuff in their stock rooms. But the official sale date for their Mutant Mayhem products is June 25th. Now, they also went on and officially showed off their a few more of their regular figures. So the Rocksteady and the Bebop, along with the other bad guys that they are doing. You know, again, I talked about the Superfly and the Leatherhead. So really here with these new images, we're getting a better look at Rocksteady and Bebop. But those are the bad guys for their basic line. Now, some other product that has shown up on an overseas website, and we only have the packaging images for these, but these are listed as making of a ninja, and they appear to be 3-packs. So you've got the young little teeny baby turtle, then you've got the kid turtle, and I believe there's actually a basic figure set with the kid turtles in it coming as well. But then you have the adult turtle, and at least one of these, or maybe two of these, or all three, I don't know, glow in the dark. So kind of a gimmicky thing, mostly of, I'm guessing, probably just reissues of figures they're doing in the regular line, only they glow in the dark. And the two figures that we're seeing here from this overseas retailer is Raphael and Leonardo. I assume they're going to do the other two turtles as well, but they did not have those listed on the website. And then one other thing, for those of you who like slime and ooze, they are, of course, doing ooze containers for the Mutant Mayhem, and each one will come with a little mini, randomly packed mini turtle figure in it. But again, you know, if you're a fan of slime and stuff, you might want to check that out. Okay, now let's jump over to the NECA turtle side of things. So first of all, since I last talked to you last week about turtles, NECA has officially announced the 3 Best Buy exclusives. The Mirage Comics Michelangelo, the Wanderer version, along with the Ultimate Sinja Patrol Bot, and then that 3-pack of the clone shredders, or shredder clones. So all 3 of those, as I told you on Friday, I'd confirm myself, but are Best Buy exclusives. They're still available on the Best Buy website. If your Best Buy still sells physical, you know, toys at their physical stores, mine do not. But if you have a Best Buy that still does, you might be able to find them there as well. But those are, again, Best Buy exclusives, and they've now been officially announced by NECA Toys. Also, NECA announced another one of their San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, which is an Alf figure, Melmac Cosmic Con Alf, you know, essentially their San Diego Comic-Con version of Alf. He comes with some cameras. He comes with a 80s cell phone. He's got San Diego Comic-Con bag. He's got his press badge or you know, his badge, and he's ready to go to Comic-Con with his Hawaiian shirt. So that one is going to cost you $40. It's got a hefty price to it. And NECA's still not come out and said exactly how these are going to be offered. Again, will they only be available at the conventions? Will they be made available online? I suspect they will make some of these available online, but they have not given those details. We also got a better look of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Turtles in Time box set. So we've only got to look at the packaging at this point. This comes via the folks at Toy Anxiety, who I guess NECA sent them already this box set, but they weren't allowed to open it until NECA officially announces it themselves. So we weren't able to see the figures inside. But, you know, they're dressed up in the samurai type gear and stuff from that movie. So that, again, is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I've already talked about the Reyes figure with the scooter that will also be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. They also, a couple of weeks ago, announced a new Gremlins 2 New Batch Ultimate Showgirl Greta figure, which will be offered as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. They've done a version of this already. I don't know if this exact same figure, but this one, that one is going to cost you $50. And then finally, I just want to let you know that some new figures are starting to show up at Target stores. So these showed up at a Target store in Hawaii. These images come via Jason. He found these at his local store in Hawaii. So I don't know if I'm more jealous he's finding these figures or that he lives in Hawaii. Probably he lives in Hawaii. But that second version of April O'Neil, which is being offered as a single release, NECA announced this several weeks ago was coming and showed it off. They actually announced it was coming last year, but they showed it off finally several weeks ago. So it's an updated version of April, since so many people didn't like the first one that they did. So that has started to show up at Target stores, and then a new 2-pack featuring a Bugman and Electro Zapper. So I think we had seen the Bugman before, but Electro Zapper, I think we are seeing for the first time. We actually saw some images pop up this weekend of this figure, but we now see that the 2-pack has actually started to see release at Target stores. I believe also already starting to see release is that Napoleon Colossus figure. That is one that they showed off a while ago. That is a deluxe figure, and I've seen reports that that one is also starting to show up at Target stores as well. Okay, so that's it for today. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about down in the comments section below. Like the video if you're so inclined, subscribe to the channel if you're new to it, and feel free to share this video with your fellow collectors on social media. As always, guys, stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification to alert it every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.